1 month later, in June 1934, the defendant Raeder had a conversation with Hitler in which Hitler instructed him to keep secret the construction of U-boats and warships over the limit of 10,000 tons, which was then being undertaken. And on the 2nd November 1934, the defendant Raeder had another conversation with Hitler and the defendant Göring, in which Hitler said that he considered it vital that the German Navy should be increased as planned, as no war could be carried out if the Navy was not able to safeguard the ore imports from Scandinavia. The large orders for building given in 1933 and 1934 are sought to be excused by the defendant Raeder on the ground that the negotiations were in progress for an agreement between Germany and Great Britain, permitting Germany to build ships in excess of the provisions for the Treaty of Versailles. This agreement, which was signed in 1935, restricted the German Navy to a tonnage equal to 1/3 of that of the British, except in respect of U-boats, where 45% was agreed, subject always to the right to exceed this proportion after first informing the British government and giving them an opportunity of discussion. The Anglo-German Treaty followed in 1937, under which both powers bound themselves to notify full details of their building program at least 4 months before any action was taken. It is admitted that these clauses were not adhered to by Germany. In capital vessels, for example, the displacement details were falsified by 20%. Whilst in the case of U-boats, the German historians Assmann and Gladisch say it is probably just in the sphere of submarine construction that Germany adhered the least to the restrictions of German-British treaty. The importance of these breaches of the treaty is seen when the motive for this rearmament is considered. In the year 1940, the defendant Raeder himself wrote, "The Führer hoped until the last moment to be able to put off the threatening conflict with England until 1944 to 45. At that time, the Navy would have had available a fleet with a powerful U-boat superiority and a much more favorable ratio as regards strength in all other types of ships, particularly those designed for warfare on the high seas. The Nazi government, as already stated, announced on the 21st May 1935 their intention to respect the territorial limitations of the Treaty of Versailles. On the 7th March 1936, in defense of that treaty of militarized zone on the Rhineland was entered by German troops. In announcing this action to the German Reichstag, Hitler endeavored to justify the re-entry by references to the recently concluded alliances between France and the Soviet Union, and between Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union. He also tried to meet the hostile reaction which he no doubt expected to follow the violation of the treaty by saying, "We have no territorial claims to make in Europe." The common plan or conspiracy and aggressive war. The tribunal now turns to the consideration of the crimes against peace charged in the indictment. Count 1 of the indictment charges the defendants with conspiring or having a common plan to commit crimes against peace.